Good evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, Coffee County voters turn out in huge numbers for the first 3 days of early voting. We'll tell you about the results of a new Vanderbilt poll released last week. Tom Corrington will speak with the candidates for the state representative in the 47th District. And the Tullahoma Wildcats won their 8th game of the season last Friday night. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Have you heard the news? Russell Barnett Automotive Family has launched its new website, russellbarnett.com. Very user-friendly. Over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Online credit applications, hometown auto rental, customer testimonials, trade appraisals, certified collision center, service department scheduling. Too many reasons to mention why I keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
Welcome back. Early voting got underway last Wednesday, and the turnout for the first 3 days indicates this could be a new record, as 2,467 Coffee Countyans had cast their ballots by the close of business on Friday. Meanwhile, a poll released last Thursday by Vanderbilt University shows former Governor Phil Bredesen with a 1% lead over U.S. Representative Marsha Blackburn. That's well within the poll's margin of error of 4.9%. The poll also shows Republican businessman Bill Lee leading former Nashville Mayor Carl Dean in the governor's race by 11 points.
The poll surveyed 800 registered voters and was conducted October 8th through the 13th. Respondents to the poll chose Bredesen over Blackburn by a margin of 44% to 43%, with 8% stating they were still undecided. Bredesen was more popular among women, who preferred the Democrat, by a margin of 49 to 37%, while men favored Representative Blackburn by a margin of 50 to 37%. The poll also indicates 55% of Tennesseans approve of President Trump's job performance.
Dr. Michael Torrance stopped by our studios recently. In this segment, Dr. Torrance talks about his career prior to coming to Motlow College.
Our guest today is Dr. Michael Torrance, who, as of May the 1st, became the new president of Motlow College. And we want to welcome him, welcome you to the community and to the show. And so we want to find out something about Dr. Torrance and what he's up to at Motlow. So let's begin, if we will, by asking you to give the folks a little summary of your background.
Okay, well, I'm from Richmond, Virginia originally, and by way of Volunteer State Community College within the Tennessee Board of Regents College System of Tennessee, I find my way to Motlow State Community College here in Tullahoma, Lynchburg, Moore County, and I've continued to say that I feel like I've been hitting the head with a rainbow with the beauty and expanse of the county, as well as the way that I myself and my family, when they've been here, have been welcomed by the community. My background extends from starting off as a student athlete, so that's how I really got engaged in leadership as an opportunity to champion some things for us as student athletes. Well, I know I don't look like it anymore. My girth is a little bit different than it used to be, but I did used to play basketball, and I was a point guard at South Dakota State University. Okay. And I'm happy to say that we were very successful during my time in my tenure there. But through supports of student athletes getting engaged with the NCAA for study skills, and then Skills USA was an instrument that I got engaged in as well. I found myself in the front of administrators and instructors, professors, talking about the importance of making sure that student athletes had the same kind of support that was necessary for us to be successful. Fast forward, I finished up my English degree at South Dakota State in about 3 years, and I had a great advisor who talked to me about getting a graduate degree, and I said, well, what's that? So they shared with me what that was and offered to pay for that as long as I was a teaching assistant. So that's where I began teaching at the collegiate level. Completed that and moved back home for a little while. Spent some time working with children, specifically basketball as a precursor to leadership and team building and things like that. And my high school coach, Michael Sutton, became the head coach at Tennessee Technological University. And that's how I got into the PhD program at Tennessee Tech. He asked me, what would you like to do, coach or go to school? And I said, well, can I do both? So he agreed to allow me to do that. And after the first year, I made a decision that my PhD was more important to me than coaching basketball. My first job after spending some time in Europe, I went to school and did my data collection in Poland. So I moved back to Pennsylvania and began my work as a college employee. And fast forward to 2013, I had the wonderful opportunity to come in work at Volunteer State Community College as the Assistant Vice President of Academic Affairs, where when you do what is asked of you, and I think that I did it competently, you get an opportunity to do other things, and that led to me being able to be responsible for more and more, and prepared me to do the work that I'm doing today at Motlow.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Welcome back. Tonight we bring you part 2 of John Gray's follow-up interview with Rebecca French, Executive Director of the Manchester Coffee County Convention Center.
Is there room out around the conference center? Is there property around the conference center that is available to put another hotel if you need another hotel in a place where there is a conference center? And there's all kinds of business around there, places to spend money and to eat and to get more of their money while they're here.
There is. There's 13.76 acres behind the conference center that are currently owned by a company in Knoxville. And the last conversation I had with them was they were willing to sell it. That was a goal of theirs. And we already have the infrastructure there. We already have the water, the sewer. We even have the fiber there through our provider. So, I mean, 13.76 acres can fit a really large hotel or several hotels. So
it's a great spot.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And it also drives business into your facility.
Yes, and without having to shuttle them. Because if we build a hotel somewhere else in town, we're going to have the logistics of shuttling them. And we don't have a designated taxi service. We don't have Uber or Lyft. And we don't own vehicles to shuttle people, so that would be an added expense for somebody or logistical expense for somebody that we don't have to have if they build on campus. it would be a win for them, it would be a win for us. We have everything ready to go on Hospitality Boulevard for another hotel to come in, and we can service them on campus at the conference center without having to do anything extra strenuous outside of the ramifications of building a hotel.
Okay, well, since we did our last talk, what kind of comments have you had about what we did and what we're trying to do and how we're trying to educate the people in a way that they get to look at both sides of this story?
Well, a lot of people expressed how they appreciated hearing the entire picture, that it's not as short-sighted as the bottom line, that there is an overall picture for our community. And you know, I got so much feedback that we definitely need a vision as a community. We need a direction for the future, and I've got several ideas of how we're supposed to find that vision. And I've got a lot of volunteers that said, hey, if you find out there's a committee for vision, let me know. Give me a call.
Vision and voice.
Yes, yeah. I've had so much positive feedback. People said they appreciated us finally speaking up. They appreciated hearing the full story and not just one part of it. And then I heard people say, you know, you still have work to do. And granted, we're never done working. But they said, but we appreciate that what you've done so far, and can keep up the good work, keep doing what you're doing, keep growing Coffee County, keep, you know. And then the state report came out a week later for this year, and I mean, those numbers only further proved what we're doing economically for our community.
What about your board? What about your county commissioner people? I mean, since we had this conversation, I've had a lot of people say to me, thank you for doing this. We didn't understand. I'm sure you've had way more than I have.
Yes.
But how is the county board, how are they acting, or how are they taking this information and the fact that some people are coming up to them and going, hey, what, you know, you having some support?
You know, I don't know if the word is support. I have a lot of commissioners who want to know the real stories, the real numbers, the real facts about the conference center, and they're willing to set up times to meet and see those numbers, talk about those numbers, go through tours. We had a meet and greet with our elected officials, and we had a really good attendance on a day that there were several other things going on in our community. And even after that meeting, I've had several commissioners reach out to me and say, what about this? Let me pick your brain about that. Can you explain this to me? And so we've had open dialogue.
That's wonderful.
And I don't necessarily say that they're not supportive, but I can't say like they're,
they're questioning.
They're doing their due diligence,
right,
and trying to find a solution, and trying to learn what happens day to day and understand the numbers. So I'm very pleased with the communication and relationships we've started building.
We'll be right back with more News Leader on 6.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. Tom Corrington spoke with Rush Bricken and Mike Winton, candidates for state representative from the 47th District.
Our guests today are the two candidates running for the Tennessee House of Representatives for the 47th District, which we're all in. 47th covers all of Coffee County and a part of Warren County. Our two candidates are On the end, Rush Bricken, who is the Republican candidate. And next to me is Mike Winton, who is carrying the Democratic flag, Democrats. So I want to thank both of you for taking time to join us and share your views. And what I'd like to do is to give each one of you, and maybe we'll go ahead and start with one, give each one of you a couple of 3 minutes to just tell the folks who you are and how come you're running, or whatever's on your mind that you want to do in 2 or 3 minutes. So Mike, you're sitting next to me. Let's start with you.
All right. Good morning, and thank you for having us. It was a long and a little bit of a stressful journey for me to get here. I really hadn't considered running for this seat, and my wife and I began to pray about this, and she was actually the first person to come on board, and she suggested I do this. And I get asked all the time, why are you running? And the best way I can describe that is Tom, I've got a picture that we made of my family. And I look in that picture and I see my grandchildren, and I think about education and their opportunities, and you know, I want to make sure that we have the right voice in Nashville and in our local district that gives those kids that opportunity. We failed our kids and our educators sometimes, and I just want to be sure to protect that. Also in that picture, I see a couple of kids that have special needs. I've got a grandson with cerebral palsy and a grandson that has seizures. And I know that pre-existing conditions in the healthcare industry are a major issue. And the right medication that they can have is an issue. And I want to make sure to protect them, but also your children and grandchildren. And I look at my children and I want them to have a living wage job. I don't want them to work 2 jobs like their dad did. And then I look at myself, the old coot in the picture, and I think, you know what? Our seniors need a little protection as well, and I want to be there and be that voice. So that kind of does it for me.
Everybody needs a little protection. Huh?
Every little bit.
Okay. So. All right. Mike, thanks for that. We just heard from Mike, gave us a couple of 3 minutes on who he is and why he's running, and let's hear that from Rush.
All right. Again, Tom, thanks for having us here today. I am Rush Bricken. I'm married to a lovely wife, Belinda. We have 4 children, all raised here in Tullahoma and went to public schools here. Have 4 wonderful grandchildren. I've lived in Tullahoma for 42 years. I've worked here as banking and as a CPA in public accounting. I've been involved in community service all my life, a long-term Kiwanian, active in my church. I've been on the county commission for 22 years, the last 8 years as budget chairman. So I certainly believe in giving back to our community. The reason I'm running, one, I just retired as CEO of Coffee County Bank this August, so I have the time. But more importantly, I do believe in giving back. I believe I have the experience to be an effective representative for our community here. I know the officials here, the community leaders. I certainly know their concerns, and I certainly want to be able to represent those concerns in Nashville. I do believe in good government, and good government to me has always been fiscal, constitutionally based government. Certainly a strong advocate for education and career training. Those things are, again, I'm a product of public education. My children went to public school, so public education is vital in Tennessee. And so I can certainly go on. Roads and bridges, law enforcement. I mean, Tennessee's primary focus for Tennessee government is education, providing good jobs, public safety, and so those are the areas I will focus in on when I become our area's next representative.
Okay.
More News Leader is coming up in just a moment.
I'm Mike Winton, your Democratic candidate for state representative. I'm the same type Democrat that your parents and grandparents were. I'm pro-life without question. I'm pro-Second Amendment without question. I'm not concerned about whether we're red or blue. I want us to be red, white, and blue. Partisan politics is killing us. Contact a campaign that's for you. Mike Winton for state representative. Go to votemikewinton.com.
Paid for by the candidate.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
The Russell Barnett Automotive family has launched its new Owner Advantage program. It starts as simple as your first year's maintenance is included with the purchase. We have 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plans available. Car detailing, car rental, collision repair. Stop by one of our 5 locations and let one of our certified sales staff tell you all about it. The Russell Barnett Automotive Family Advantage program. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Welcome back. The Tullahoma Wildcats notched their 8th consecutive win of the season last Friday night at Wilkins Stadium, setting the stage for the matchup with Maplewood this week for the district championship. John Gray spoke with head coach John Olive on Saturday morning.
Here with Coach John Olive on the John Olive 5th quarter show after a ball game last night with Giles County, and the Tullahoma Wildcats are now 8-1.
It's good to be 8-1.
Been a while, hasn't it, Coach?
It's been a long time, and you know, these young men find a way to win, and that's, you know, I told the seniors last night, from where they had started to where they've gotten the program back to is just unbelievable, and it's a tribute to them. In the game of football, you got to have more than one or two athletes. You have to have a group. And if you watch our defense, from the second quarter on, we're missing our 2 starting linebackers, but we can still close to a football.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. And on those teams in 15 and 16, we'd have 1 or 2 really good athletes, or 3, just didn't have enough for the sport of football. And so, you know, that's the big difference. I told one of the reporters last night that was talking with me that the 2015 team, they for 2 years were 0-19, and they were at Giles County in week 10. And Giles County was rolling along, getting ready to go to the playoffs. They're going to go be, I think, a state quarterfinal team that year. And I can remember the seniors talking about in their preparation that week, are we preparing to win our first ball game, or are we preparing to lose our 10th game just to be done, get out of the season? And we played our tails off against Giles County, went back and forth with them until we finally fumbled the football, and we couldn't slow them down. We just didn't have enough speed on the defensive side of the ball. But what I'm trying to say is that group played their hearts out that night, and we ended up getting beat by 3 touchdowns. And now, 2 years later, we're battling to get our 8th win in a season. And we're against Giles County, and this time Giles County is fighting for their playoff life because of having to forfeit football games. And I mean, it was a very intense ball game, and I hope entertaining ball game for the fans, because I mean, we didn't play as well as I'd like for us to, but it was a great high school football game.
Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam and Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development Commissioner Burns Phillips last week released new labor statistics that showed unemployment across Tennessee continued at near historic low levels in September. The state's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate of 3.6% in September mirrored the August 2018 rate and is just 0.3 of a percentage point higher than Tennessee's all-time low unemployment rate of 3.3%.
Don't forget to tune in to this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9, and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell, who will give us some suggestions for Halloween safety. Job Fair Joyce will drop by and tell us where you can talk to several employers looking for employees. And Cap Murray will invite everyone out to South Jackson Civic Center this Saturday for Polka Band and Oktoberfest. All that and more on this week's Living.
Stay with us. We'll be right back in a moment with your weather forecast.
It's football time in Tennessee, and nobody tackles the competition like the Russell Barnett Automotive family. With 6 locations to serve you, certified collision center, over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from at russellbarnett.com, hometown auto rental, limited lifetime powertrain warranty on certain units, certified pre-owned units. Too many reasons to mention why. Keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Rush Bricken demands governmental financial responsibility.
Rush Bricken cares about veterans and will defend the Constitution.
Rush Bricken knows small business creates good jobs.
On November 6th, you have a choice for your Tennessee State Representative.
I'd like to be your next Tennessee representative.
For fiscal soundness.
I'm picking Bricken.
For low taxes.
I'm picking Bricken.
For good jobs and roads.
I'm picking Bricken.
Vote Rush Bricken November 6th to the Tennessee State House of Representatives.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1953 at 85 degrees. The record low was in 1997 at 29 degrees. The average high on this day is 70 and the average low is 45. Partly cloudy weather expected tonight with a low of around 53. Mostly sunny weather in the forecast for Wednesday with a high of 65 and a low of 38. And rain returning to the forecast on Thursday with a high of 56 and a low of 38. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.
Have a great evening.